Welcome back to West Texas View.
Paul Cain was telling us just before the break some of the synergy that has resulted in these agencies working together, and how important it is that they feel a part of this community within the walls of this beautiful building, that beautifully landscaped, even has outdoor space if they want to have outdoor activities.
Exactly.
But you know, one of the things that one of the agencies said had been the most wonderful part of being a part of shared spaces was meeting in the break room and networking ideas and problems and problem solving. She said, I do so much problem solving in the break room by having someone else tell me what their agency's done.
Right.
And so that is a big, I think, compliment for the shared spaces concept.
Absolutely. I think the collaboration piece of our mission, I think that's the hidden gem, in my personal opinion. I think that will be something that will continue to grow, and it will spread beyond the walls of the building. I mean, our mission is not only to foster collaboration with the tenants in the building, but to help foster that collaboration across the greater nonprofit community and the community at large. So I think, you know, as we progress as an organization, and we'll start within the walls and the synergies that you talked about, but I'm really looking down the road for this center to be kind of the hub of nonprofit and even community collaboration for decades to come.
And when you look at the facility with wonderful parking lot, with the ability, in the case of the adult daycare, where they can bring them right to the door for those that are handicapped, and one of the clients told them that they loved coming to that building to be served. And so if the clients feel like it's accessible, that's a big step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Because one of the biggest problems with nonprofits is the accessibility to their agency.
That's right, and that's, you know, that's one of the, when you look at the surveys of those 200 across the country, you know, virtually every nonprofit says heightened visibility, heightened exposure to funders. It makes an organization that, let's take for an example, we might have one like Midland Opera Theater, which is one of our smaller tenants. They've never had an office presence before, and so to suddenly now be in the midst of this, you know, it has to heighten their exposure as an organization.
Plus, she said, this is the first time we've really felt like we'd arrived, is when we had an office.
Right, right, absolutely.
But I also want you to talk about what do you see as the most helpful thing to the tenants of being a part of shared spaces? Is it the synergy? Is it the common rooms they get to share? What do you think?
I think
your observation.
I think today the thing that's most pressing, most helpful is the affordable, you know, cost for the space, the shared spaces, and the collaboration that's beginning to happen inside the walls. I think, as I mentioned before, that's going to transition though. I think, you know, yes, that affordable lease space and the shared spaces will continue to always be a heart of our mission, but I really believe the collaboration piece, people will begin to value that as being one of the real reasons that, you know, that they want to be part of the organization. Right.
And when the adult daycare was here, and they were talking about their chef provided the food for meetings, and also had box lunches if any of the other people in the employee there wanted to order them, and all of those things just almost make it a family.
Absolutely.
A family of nonprofits.
You're right, and even down to designing the space. You know, I mean, I think I mentioned to you when we were off camera that, you know, each one of the tenants that, you know, they basically worked with our architect over several months to custom design their space. Now, some of the spaces are much more evident of that. Midland, the Adult Day Services organization, it's one of a kind. You'll never find a space like that in any office space in Midland. The recording library also had some unique needs. So every one of them had the opportunity to really custom design. So I call it, going back to the family, when we were putting this thing together, it was like building 11 custom homes that are all housed together in that office space, and it does feel like a family, absolutely.
And I remember somebody saying about the daycare that having the driveway right up to the door was one of the nicest things when they found out that they could really have that.
Right.
That was one of the nicest things that they had.
Well, and again, that would be something that you would not expect to have in a normal commercial office space, is that drive-up access to it, and that was something that was very important to them, and our architects listened to that and designed that, and our funders supported in making that all come true.
We'll talk a little bit before we end the program about the board. All nonprofits, if they're 501(c) especially, have to have a board of community leaders, and they are charged with really important oversight. So talk about your board.
I've been doing nonprofit volunteer work for a number of years. This is like, if you ever watch the movie The Avengers, okay, this is like a collection of the best of the best, okay? So if you were to go out and hand select 12 individuals in the community that you say, gosh, we'd really like to get them on our board of directors, but they're so busy doing other things, we don't think it'll be possible. We got them. And there's some...
Because people want to be a part of something that is first class, and that is at the cutting edge.
That's right. That's right. So we've got a real all-star board, and again, they're all focused around making Midland better, and it's proofs in the pudding. I mean, come visit the facility, and you'll see it, and talk to the tenants that are there, and I think you're going to see that they're doing their job. So,
and that's another thing. It would make you proud to have our Midlanders to come and see what we have and our unique offering that we have.
Oh, absolutely. And I think we've already begun to have some calls and some interest in other communities that are beginning to hear about what's going on here, and they want to come see it. So I think that, again, we're still a little bit of baby stepping here along this first year, but absolutely. I think it can be a model that will work in a lot of communities, and I hope it should. I think it will.
This has been so much fun to have Paul here to talk about with his enthusiasm and his very first frontline seat on this. And we'll see you next Sunday with another program again about shared spaces.
Thanks for joining us for News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery. This has been a public affairs presentation of KWAB TV and KWES TV.